lounge version of Mr. Fantasy. That doesn't quite work, does it? That's not quite it. Hey friends, early morning Larry checking in. Shit, I don't have nothing prepared. This is just totally winging it off the seat of the pants, as they say. Man, flat wounds, right? I just put an old set of pyramid flat wounds on this 90s Dan Electro. I mean, come on, man. Is there anything better? Riff, right? Sounds like some classic rock song. I mean, if you would have grown up listening to that, you would have thought that's an iconic lick. But it's just all it really is a Thursday morning here in Nashville. I got a few things in the VCB. Thanks for all the kind comments about all the clickbait videos. We're having some fun with that. I can't see nothing. But Jesus God. Let's see what we got. A couple quick VCBs and I'll hang up. This is not going to be a long episode. Hey Tom, I agree with you about the Theodore pickups. Too polite sounding. Kind of reminds me of the P100s I had in the ES135 back in the 90s. Yeah, that's like kind of the theme with like every time I rent these new Gibsons for backline, they're very polite sounding. They don't have any danger. Is it the pickups? That's the thing. Like these 335s and stuff that I rent, they play okay and everything, but they just don't have any danger. I always look at Evo and I go, dude, what's up with these things? He's like, I don't know, man. I think that's what separates the old pickups from the new ones the most. Is the old ones are so dangerous sounding. But it's all just a myth. And the only reason I play old guitars is because I'm trying to relive the memories of my youth, as one guy said. Okay, pal. One guy got way bent out of shape here about, what's this guy's name here? Oh boy, he was coming in hot. Bum Petty. He's an old guy like me, and he stopped listening to music in 1988 probably, and hated what I said about the pitch correction. Look, I'm not defending it, man. I'm just telling you guys, it's not just in Nashville. It's on every music that everybody has done since 1993 or something. Once Pro Tools took a hold and everybody realized how easy everything was, early 90s roughly, it's been on everything, man. Even like bluegrass music uses it. I mean, but I'm not sticking up for it. I'm not defending it. I mean, I'm just telling you guys, if you think it's not on every record, you're kidding yourselves. It's even on live versions. People send in the mixes to get pitch corrected on live versions, man. If you want to hear what shit really sounds like in the real world, look at some of these crappy iPhone videos of people playing live in concert. That's what it sounds like. So you wouldn't want that on your record. So they do whatever they can to stop that. I hate what iPhone videos do to live music. You know, somebody gears up to do a big tour, you know, amazing artist, and they put this giant killer stage set together and work out all these great production ideas, and then they go out and do the first night of the tour somewhere, and some numbnuts with it. iPhone takes a crappy video and puts it on YouTube, and then everybody watches that and goes, I'm not gonna go to that show. Judging it from this little iPhone recording that is capturing about 0.00001% of the energy that's really happening in the room. I always feel like cell phones shouldn't be allowed in concerts, but I'm also ancient. I mean, hell, I was around before remote controls on TV sets, people. Imagine that. I think a lot of these people that argue about pitch correction are also, you know, precious about old music, and they think that their artists that they grew up listening to would never do that, but they would do that. If they could have done that, they would have done that. It's just easier, people. Everyone always goes for it's like I said in a comment. I said it'd be like yelling at somebody for washing their dishes in a dishwasher instead of doing it by hand. It's like, come on, man. Okay, let's move on from that. One guy said, clickbait is usually a hot chick. Not always. You know, you can do other things besides TNA that makes the clickbait quite interesting. I get this comment a lot. I swear, Tom, you could plug in a frying pan and make it sound good. Inspiring and utterly addictive. Dude, I appreciate that. Man, I think that's the whole point, right? You play the cards you're dealt. Somebody hands you an instrument, right? And you're plugged into a rig, and you're supposed to try to make it sound good instantly, right? Find out where the sweet spot is on that guitar. I do think one of these days I want to do a video. I think it'd be fascinating to get. This would have to be done with real microphones, and it couldn't be done on my shitty iPhone. Where I'll get 10 guitar players, 10 bad motherfuckers, or half a dozen, whatever, really good players, and sit them down in front of a camera with one guitar and an amp and a chord. And they all have to play the exact same rig for a couple minutes with no pedals or no tricks or nothing like that. And you could just see, I think that would really, really, really shine a light on how all the tone that comes out of people's guitars is 99% the hands. I've been saying that forever. I don't even believe we're even debating about this anymore. It's all in the hands, man. It's all in the meat. And then the argument is like, well, dude, if it's all in the hands, why do you pay $100,000 for an old guitar? Okay, because I really worry about that other 1%. That other 1% is pretty important. So you got 99% tone in the hands, and then that last 1% could make or break you. That's when a really great guitar or a really great amp comes into play. I think that last little push over the cliff, as they say in Spinal Tap, really helps a man. Plus, it inspires you to play cool things when you've got a cool guitar. I would say that the inspiration factor of a great old guitar is just as important as its sound or its look or any of that shit. A lot of kind comments about the Red Firebird. People love that guitar. So do I. Great old guitar. I bought that from Rumble Seat Music years ago. Elliot, my dear friend Elliot Michael, and I remember that thing played like shit when I bought it. Played like a log wagon. I don't know why I even bought it. It needed so much work, and it, it's in good condition cosmetically, but boy, it was a mess. And I took that to Greg Voros years ago, and he fought with that thing, and man, he turned it into a monster. I couldn't believe when I got it back. I was like, man, this is amazing what you did with that guitar, with the refret and all that. One guy said, hey, Tom, your t-shirt drawer must be the size of the bed of my pickup. Man, you wouldn't believe how many t-shirts I got. People sent me. Yeah, I got lots of t-shirts. You need some t-shirts? Call Larry. I hope you're an XL, though. One guy said, do what you will with the thumbnails. We're here for the content. I appreciate that, man. I do appreciate that. We're just having a little fun, people. I got to mix it up a little bit or I get really bored. You know what I'm saying. What amp you been playing through lately? Tweed Deluxe over here. Can you see it? Here, let me show you. Oh, dig it. Just an old Tweed Deluxe. Like the good old days. Here's the thing about a great old Tweed Deluxe, man. Danny Dugmore and I always talk about this. Danny's like an unbelievable steel player in Nashville. Great guitar player, session guy. He's been a long time Tweed Deluxe user. All you gotta do is get a Tweed Deluxe, plug into the instrument channel, and turn it up to 2. Literally, 2. Well, this one's on 3. Put it on 3. If you start going above 3, it starts to fizz out. These amps have 0 headroom. And it's not the kind of good fizz out you want, but put the thing on 3 where it's barely cracked on. And there's just, you put a microphone anywhere near it and it's like, oh yeah, there you go. That's what it's supposed to sound like. Something about the honesty of an old Tweed Deluxe that just, microphones love them. They love them. The camera adds 10 pounds though. Let's see here. You know what's funny, man? I was telling somebody that day, like, I'm getting so old now that like, a lot of shit that I used to consider to be totally uncool is starting to look really cool to me now. I'll bet some of you guys are having that phenomenon too. Oh, look, matching pick to the shirt. Like, for example, sometimes I told you I like to get a little buzz on and look at reverb late at night. I was looking at I think it was an 84 made in Japan Stratocaster that was on there. And those things have gone up to like $2,500, man. We used to throw those around for $300, I've never cared about those guitars You know, I wouldn't piss on one if it was on fire back in the day. And like, I started thinking, man, that thing looks really cool to me now. They're starting to age and look like real guitars. You know, like you'd see a picture of one, and you want to see one in the music store and go, wow, that looks really cool. The the finish is starting to look right, and you know, those actually were cool guitars. I mean, all the ones I ever had, you know, the early Japanese Fenders were always fine instruments. I had a bunch of those, man, back in the day. I've had Tellys. And I remember having a Paisley Telly that was made in Japan. And one of my favorite Tellys I ever had was actually an early 90s made in Japan Telly. Boy, I wish I could get that one back. I don't know why the hell I ever sold that guitar. It was magic. Maple board, blonde with a black guard. It was very lightweight, and it's very, very good sounding guitar. I used to use it on sessions endlessly, and it killed. I had an old Van Zandt pickup in it. Oh, I remember what happened. I had this old Van Zandt bridge pickup in it that sounded amazing, and that pickup blew up one day, and and that never was the same after that. I put some other pickup in it and didn't have the juice, so I got rid of it. That's what happened. But back when it had the Van Zandt in it, man, it was killing. But you know, you see that like stuff that I used to never think was cool, like it's starting to look cool to me. But that's what happens when you get old. You know, your tastes change. And I suppose things that I used to think were really cool aren't as cool to me now as they were. Like, that's another thing. Like I used to get all caught up in like certain vintage guitars, thinking these are the greatest. And man, now I'm like tired of messing with them. Like for example, Blackguard Tellys. Like, yes, I know they're $100,000 now, but I couldn't give a fuck. I mean, I rarely like any Blackguard Tellys. You could put 20 Blackguard Tellys in front of me, 50 from 1950 to 54, and I might like one of them. I used to, you know, always look at those and try to buy them and stuff, but then I realized, man, these guitars are not for me. They were too crude. Every once in a while you'll find a good one, but the necks are pretty squirrely on those things, very strange shapes, and they didn't quite get it right, in my opinion, until about 1955. That's when the white guard came in and the Tellys started becoming like really great. Yes, there are some great old Blackguard Tellys out there. Vince Gill's got a few. I've seen them around. They do exist, but man, I prefer the 55, 56, 57 white guards, to be honest. I just think they're better neck shapes, better guitars. Usually a bit lighter too. Some of the early Tellys are quite heavy. One last one here. Oh, you mean Keith Richards uses pitch correct too? LOL. LOL. I said, yes, I'm sure. I would bet anything. I haven't even heard it, but I would bet anything that there's a ton of pitch correction and time correction on the latest Stones record, because that's what you do now. It doesn't matter who it is. You could be Elvis. They're going to be using it. What it is just a way to not have to beat people up. You get it close, and you can just touch it up a little bit. The pocket, if they rush a little bit, you can pull it back. You know, it's like it's not the end of the world, people. It's. I mean, I don't know why people get so up in arms. But why am I talking about this? I'm gonna let go of that. I'm not sticking up for it. I'm just telling you that's just how it is now. So get used to it. It's here to stay, friends. Has it made music better? I don't know. Probably not. I like all the out-of-tune shit on old records, to be honest. And I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. But people are not into that these days. It doesn't fly with the younger generation. Anyway, kids, all right. I'm gonna hang up now. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Uncle Larry, over and out.